Hello and welcome. So a few months ago, I did a bookshelf organization video and I said that I would do a bookshelf tour, so here we go today. I'm going to take you through all these shelves. I have a 2B red shelf, or 4 of them, and many others. So we'll start at the top. This is my fantasy, dystopian, and other ones that I just couldn't categorize. Starting, we have Illumine, Gemina, and Obsidio by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, Scythe, Thunderhead, and The Toll by Neil Shusterman, Strange the Dreamer, and Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor, An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green, The Retribution Falls, and Black One Captain by Chris Whitting, The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, and A Closed and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers, The Martian by Andy Weir, Ready Player One by Ernest Cline, The Call by Peter O'Geilan, This Savage Song by V.E. Schwab, World War Z by Max Brooks, The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, The Edge of Everything by Jeff Giles, and The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak. And that is it for the first shelf on my bookshelf. Next we have my manga and child chapter bookshelf. And I do have a Sora pop figure here that my sister got me for my birthday. So we have Shigotaro 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Then we have Orange Volumes 1 and 2 by Ichigo Takano, Fairy Tail 0, another Fairy Tail edition in Japanese, Nisekoi 1 and 2 by Naoshi Komi, Noragami Stray God 1, 2, and 3, No Game No Life by Yu Kayami and Mashiro Higari, The Mysterious Underground Men by Osamu Tezuka, All My Friends Are Still Dead by Avery Monson and Jory John, In Real Life by Cory Doctorow and Jen Wang, Avatar The Lost Adventures, Avatar The Search Part 1 and 3, and The Promise Part 1, 2, and Part 3. The Witch series, number 1, The Power of 5, 2, The Disappearance, 3, Finding Meridian, 4, The Fire of Friendship, 5, The Last Tear, 6, Illusions and Lies, 7, The Light of Meridian, 8, Out of the Dark, 9, The Four Dragons, 10, A Bridge Between Worlds, 11, The Crown of Light, 12, The Return of a Queen, 13, A Different Path, 14, Worlds Apart, 15, The Courage to Choose, 16, The Path of Revenge, 19, The Other Truth, 20, Whispers of Doubt, 21, Awakened Heart, 22, A Choice is Made, 23, Farewell to Love, 24, Trust Your Heart, 25, Enchanted Waters, and 26, Friends Forever. And that is that shelf completed. Now we have my Cassandra Clare shelf, and this is just purely Cassandra Clare and everything that she has done. I have the 10-year anniversary edition of City of Bones. It has beautiful gilded edges, City of Bones, City of Ashes, City of Glass, City of Fallen Angels, City of Lost Souls, and City of Heavenly Fire, which is the Mortal Instruments series. Then we have The Bane Chronicles by Cassandra Clare, Sarah Reese Brennan, and Maureen Johnson, The Tales from Shadowhunter Academy by all of those people, and Robin Wasserman. Then we have Lady Midnight, Lord of Shadows, and Queen of Air and Darkness, which is the Last Artificer series, and these are the beautiful limited edition covers. Ghost of the Shadow Market by Cassandra Clare, Sarah Reese Brennan, Maureen Johnson, Kelly Lane, and Robin Wasserman. Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare, which is the first Last Hours book. Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince, and Clockwork Princess, which are the Infernal Devices series. The Shadowhunters Codex by Cassandra Clare and Joshua Lewis. The Red Scrolls of Magic by Cassandra Clare and Wesley Chu, Shadowhunters and Denizens of the Downworld. And finally we have the graphic novel editions of the Infernal Devices, Clockwork Angel, Prince, and Princess. And then we have this little Java Jones candle that I got from a bookish box, and it smells like coffee and it's great. And that is all of my Cassandra Clare shelf. Moving on, we have my BTS shelf. Now, I'm not going to go into detail in this video about this shelf. However, if you do want a more detailed video about my collection, please leave a comment. But I will start by showing you my little Jungkook pop vinyl that I bought myself because he is my bias and it's super cute. Then we have kind of like my old favorite fantasy series. We have Poison Study, Magic Study, Fire Study, and Shadow Study by Maria V. Snyder, Storm Glass, Sea Glass, and Spy Glass by Maria B. Snyder. And finally we have Touch of Power, Scent of Magic, and Taste of Darkness, also by Maria B. Snyder. Then we have Alice in White Star by Isabel Carmody, Evermore by Isabel Carmody and Daniel Reed. I have this signed, it's very exciting. Then we have Obernewton, The Farseers, Ashling, The Keeping Place, The Stone Key, and The Sending, which is the Obernewton series by Isabel Carmody. The Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss. This is the hardcover edition that I have. I do have The Name of the Wind somewhere. And The Slow Regard of Silent Things, also by Patrick Rothfuss. This is my more recent high fantasy shelf. Starting, we have Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas, House of Earth and Blood, A Court of Thorns and Roses, Court of Mist and Fury, A Court of Wings and Ruin, and A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas, Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, Heir of Fire, Queen of Shadows, and Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas, and The Black Prism, The Blinding Knife, The Broken Eye, The Blood Mirror, and The Burning White by Brent Weeks. Then we have kind of like my middle grade and Harry Potter shelf. I do have this very cute little, once again, Yule Ball candle that I got in a bookish box. We'll start with Howl's Moving Castle, Castle in the Air, and House of Many Ways by Diana Wynne Jones. This is the Howl's Moving Castle trilogy. Dragon Rider by Cornelia Funke. This was the first chapter book that I ever read, so it holds a very special place. A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, Release by Patrick Ness, and The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness. Then we have Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, The Half-Blood Prince, and The Deathly Hallows in the adult covers. Then I have Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban, Goblet of Fire, Order of the Phoenix, The Half-Blood Prince, and The Deathly Hallows. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, and Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Here we have my contemporary shelf. This is filled with all my contemporary and autobiographies of people that I like. We have Let It Snow by John Green, Maureen Johnson and Lauren Miracle, When Dimple Met Rishi by Zendaya Menon, All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven, We Were Liars by E. Lockhart, Turtles All the Way Down by John Green, and I also have this signed, If At Both You Don't Succeed by Zach Anna, Scrappy Little Nobody by Anna Kendrick, The Thousandth Floor by Catherine McGee, History Is All You Left Me by Adam Silvera, When We Collided by Emery Lord, Windfall by Jennifer E. Smith, Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell, and I also have a signed copy of this one too. Thank you, Jason, for that gift. Carry On, Landline, Attachments, and Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell, Anna and the French Kiss, Lola and the Boy Next Door, and Isla and the Happily Ever After by Stephanie Perkins, Something in Between by Melissa de la Cruz, Crazy Rich Asians and China Rich Girlfriend by Kevin Kwan, To All the Boys I'd Loved Before, and P.S. I Still Love You by Jenny Han, Save the Date by Morgan Matson, A List of Cages by Robin Rowe, Geekerella and The Princess and the Fangirl by Ashley Poston, November 9, Slammed, It Ends With Us and Without Merit by Colleen Hoover, not in the same series, just by the same author, Me Before You and Me After You by Jojo Moyes, London Belongs to Me by Jacqueline Middleton, and finally we have Again But Better by Christine Riccio, and I actually have this one signed by her directly to me, which is super exciting, as you can tell. And that's my contemporary shelf. Moving on down, we have my teen fantasy vampire shelf. Yeah. Starting with Reckless by Cornelia Funke, Shiver, Linger, Forever, and Sinner by Maggie Stiefvater, Vampire Academy, Frostbite, Shadow Kiss, Blood Promise, Spirit Bound, and The Last Sacrifice by Rochelle Mead, which is the Vampire Academy series. Then we have Bloodlines, The Golden Lily, The Indigo Spell, Fiery Heart, and Silver Shadows, also by Rochelle Mead. Then we have Fallen, Torment, Passion, and Rapture by Lauren Kate, with a bonus Fallen in Love novella. Then we have Hush Hush, Crescendo, Silence, and Finale by Becca Fitzpatrick. And finally we have Bloodlust and Initiation, Ritual and Legacy, and High Stakes and Hunted by Alex Duval. And that was my teenage years. Here is my I didn't super love it, but it was still good shelf. There's So Much I Want to Tell You by Anna O'Connor, Secrets for the Mad by Dodie Clark, The Trauma Cleaner by Sarah Cranestein, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs, The Dangers of Truffle Hunting by Sunny Overend, About Grace by Anthony Dorr, Three Dark Crowns by Kendall Blake, and The Poisoned Throne, The Crowded Shadows, and The Rebel Prince by Celine Kiernan. We have The Raven Boys, The Dream Thieves, Blue Lily Lily Blue, and The Raven King by Maggie Stiefvater, which is the Raven Cycle series. Divergent, Insurgent, Allegiant, and 4 by Veronica Roth. This is the Divergent series. And we have The Hunger Games, Catching Fire and Mockingjay, which is the Hunger Games series by Suzanne Collins. They are in this collector box that I didn't want to take them out of. Then we have Outlander, Dragonfly in Amber, and Voyager by Diana Gabaldon. This is the Outlander series. Then we have Stardust by Neil Gaiman, Looking for Alaska, Paper Towns, An Abundance of Catherines, and The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. And I also have a lovely collector box for these too. And just like that, we have completed another shelf. Moving on down, we have the books that, look, I didn't really love or just didn't finish. Starting with Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons, I have not read these, by Dan Brown. Prophecy's Ruin by Sam Bowring. Aragon by Christopher Paolini. The Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss. This is my softcover version. Inside Out and Outside In by Maria B. Snyder. Ink Exchange, Wicked Lovely, Fragile Eternity, and Radiant Shadows by Melissa Marr. Delirium and Pandemonium by Lauren Oliver. Matched and Crossed by Ali Condi. Wings, Spells, Illusions, and Destined by April Pike. Game of Thrones and A Clash of Kings by George R. R. Martin. Painted Man, The Desert Spear, The Daylight War, and The Skull Throne by Peter B. Brett. And finally, we have Intertwined, Unraveled, and Twisted by Gina Showalter. That is the second last bottom shelf. We're panning for some reason. Oh, dog. And welcome to my floor for the last bottom shelf. Hey, it me. So we'll start with this lovely BTS picture that my sister drew for me. She did this before she liked BTS, but now she likes BTS, so that's good. We have Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, The Two Towers, and The Return of the King, with a bonus, The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. We have Everything is Illuminated by Jonathan Safran Foer, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, and The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Percy Jackson series by Rick Riordan, including The Lightning Thief, Sea of Monsters, The Titan's Curse, Battle of the Labyrinth, and The Last Olympian. Then we have Cinder by Marissa Meyer, The Fire Within, Ice Fire, Fire Star, The Fire Eternal, The Dark Fire, Fire World, and The Fire Ascending by Chris DeLacy. Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, I don't know where my Breaking Dawn copy is, and Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer, which is the Twilight series. And then we have Lady Midnight, Lord of Shadows, and A Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare. These are my softback copies of the Dark Artificer series. And that is my bottom shelf. From here, we're moving up to my TBR shelf. I know you've all been waiting for it. These are roughly color-coded, and I have actually read some of these since filming this video. So we have The Ruby Circle by Rochelle Mead, Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo, A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness, The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon, Will Grayson by John Green and David Leviathan, A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, A Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Lainey Taylor, An Ember in the Ashes by Saba Tahir, The Book of Immortality by Adam Leith Golnar, Blaze of Glory by Michael Pryor, A Wild Sheep Chase by Haruki Murakami, Dawn Study by Maria B. Snyder, and finally The Red Queen by Isabel Carmody, and that is the first shelf. Moving on down, we have kind of like the blues and greens and purples. Oh hey, it me again. So we have The Iron Trial by Holly Black and Cassandra Clare, The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin, Death's Excellent Vacation by Charlene Harris and Tony L.P. Kellner, Time Siege and Time Salvager by Wesley Chu, Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson, Wind Witch by Susan Dennard, The Lies of Loch Lamora by Scott Lynch, Falling Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes, Night Study by Maria B. Snyder, The Assassin's Blade and Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas. I have actually read Assassin's Blade at this point. And then we have The Old Kingdom Chronicles by Garth Nix, including Sabriel, Lyriel, and Aborson. Moving on down, we have Magician by Raymond E. Feist, Passenger by Alexandra Bracken, The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson, Truth Witch by Susan Dennard, Scarlet and Cress by Marissa Meyer, And then we have The Final Empire, The Hero of Ages, and The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. And my last TBR shelf has all of like the whites and the golds and the blacks and the silvers. And we have this cute little, once again, candle from A Bookish Box. First up, And I Darken by Kirsten White. The Passage by Justin Cronin. Nevernight by Jay Christoph. The Red Queen by Victoria Aviar. Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. Oh Dear Sylvia by Dawn French. Our Dark Duet by V.E. Schwab. Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. The Elephant Vanishes by Haruki Murakami. Assassin's Apprentice and The Dragon Keeper by Robin Hobb. The Crown's Game by Evelyn Skye. And Caraval by Stephanie Garber. And that is all of the books that I have not read yet on my shelves. The last section that I have to show you guys is my children's book section. I have 2 mini shelves of these, and they're just books that I've kept from my childhood that I loved. For some reason, Life and Death by Stephanie Meyer made it here. I don't know why. We have this Hans Christian Andersen treasury box filled with different stories that are the classics. Then we have the Goosebumps books that I have managed to keep over the years by R.L. Stine. Lily Quench and the Dragon of Ashby. This was a book that I loved. Don't Be Silly Mr. Twiddle and Bimbo and Topsy by Enid Blyton. How to Raise and Keep a Dragon by John Topsell. The one and only official Pokemon handbook. This is the most worn and loved book in my entire shelf. You can see here that it's literally being held together by tape. Clarice Bean Spells Trouble by Lauren Child. Blinky Bill by Dorothy Wall, The Complete Adventures. The BFG by Roald Dahl. A collection of complete fairy tales by the Grimm brothers. The Favourite Winnie the Pooh stories by A.A. Milne. Little Book of Poems. I don't know who this is by. A various myriad of witch paraphernalia, including a journal and magazines, and I have another magazine in the shelf as well. Collector's Guides for Beanie Kids. Don't know why I still have those. And finally, The Cat in the Hat by Dr. Seuss. Alright, this is it, guys. This is the last shelf. If you've made it this far, kudos to you. To start with, we have... oh, a dog. Hi, Cora. 3 Beatrix Potter books that are different tales. 2 golden books. I don't know what these were called, but I had so many of them and I only have 2 left. My Adventures in Nursery Rhyme Land. This book has actually my name in it and all of my family members, and it was a beautiful gift when I was a kid. What's in Your Pocket, Lucy Locket by Paul and Emma Rogers. How to Choose Your Dragon. I think I stole this off my mum. The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien, and this is a pop-up book. Like, how cool is that? I think I was the coolest kid. Fairy Tale Fables is just a whole bunch of different stories. The Folk of the Faraway Tree and The Magic Faraway Tree by Enid Blyton. The Enchanted Woods by Shirley Barber. Darnotopia by James Gurney. Mickey Mouse Race to Death Valley. The Vampire's Handbook by apparently Van Helsing. And finally, the Aussie kids staple of Wizardology, Dragonology, and Piratology. And that is all my kids' books. Which means you made it to the end of my bookshelf tour. Congratulations. I hope you enjoyed. This is my entire collection of books, and it is my pride and joy. Over the years, my bookshelf has grown and decreased and fluctuated in size, and there are books on there that I have read, haven't read, loved, don't love. But I do hope that this video wasn't too boring for you, or that you actually enjoyed it. And I mean, if you made it to the end, you're either one of my friends or you actually did want to watch this. So thank you so much. Thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!